as?
Well, when we were in the Southern Isles, and there was a particularly lazy, I guess, a lazy brother and priest who more or less was going through I guess the best way I could describe it is going through the motions of everything, really giving attention or thought to their duties and ignoring the clamors of those that really were trying to be heard. The Society of Plenty was not happy about that. I can say that much. Well, they were looking... Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
What exactly did the Society of Plenty do? Vis-a-vis this brother, lazy brother.
Well, they didn't do anything specific in terms of harm. They didn't do anything to the father, if that's what you're concerned about. They're not attacking people outright. But considering it was an issue regarding being fed, and because their methods were somewhat aligned with ours for a mission we previously had, they were able to freely liberate, I will say, grain stocks that the church was hoarding at one point, and only really half-heartedly giving out to the people. That is just one example, specifically for the church. Now, I should point out that if you must know, the society does go after several groups, those who would be of higher powers, if they feel that they are not really paying attention to what everybody on the lower end is doing.
And where exactly did these supplies and stores come from? It is our understanding that the islands are suffering from drought and also famine.
That's a very good question. I actually don't know where they came from. What I can say is that because they were from the Southern Isles, which is the current usurper in the civil war that's going on, I would presume that you are aware of that, yes? Well, I would presume that they are probably foreign aid that was coming from another source. Whether they are actually from the church, I can't say. Whether they are from another country, I can't say. But what I can say is that they were not being distributed properly.
Now,
and I'd kind of give him the death stare and smile.
In the recent assignments on the Logakari, have you observed the use of mystical, magical, or sorceress abilities used against the kingdom and its citizens?
Well, I have seen Lord Gregory use elemental magic. I have seen our party member, Spencer, use his, I guess the mind magic would be the way it's called. The same one as, and I point to the wolf who's here. Same robes as her. They have used it against agents and creatures that have gone against the people and have gone against the king. I have seen creatures that were created from elemental magic attack us, but I have not seen any sort of ensorcelment or any sort of mind magic used on individuals specifically. Got to think about what we're going to say now. Hope I'm not giving away too much information at this point.
It's okay. Like, if you've been paying attention, we've apparently already given them quite a lot. The question is, what other alternative things are they, like, interested in? And that's been interesting to kind of try to observe.
Sorry about that. Chief Reduce, have you observed the use of necromantic magics? The raising of bodies or the dead?
No.
Okay, for that question, when you go flat no, that's when that sort of triggers the use of the.
Sure. As far as I'm aware, at least in character, no. I mean, if you know something I don't out of character, let me know, please, and I can.
No, I mean the reason why, to explain why is like this is a very important thing. They want to make sure that so that's because you were so quickly saying no, it's like excuse me. So it's a mining 3+ bonuses that they have versus mining.
I'm not going to resist.
other
I'm not going to
magic, so
resist because I have a D4 mind. There's no point.
I'm still gonna roll and see how well they do.
Oh, if they get all failures, maybe I'll resist. Yeah, there's no
No.
point.
Yeah. I mean, they go deep. Okay, you clearly haven't seen anything that you haven't fought any undead and like that. Mostly, you recall you have this jumble images that come to your mind, the elementals and the attack on the with the surface ship. So that's clearly magical. Times where you're seeing magic used and by members of your party. But as they go deeper and deeper, is there something that you're really trying to hide from your
Mostly
past?
the fact that I was a thief and a pickpocket and all that crap before I was recruited by the King's Guard by force.
Yeah, that's basically they go to that because and they have images of you sort of the audience can see images of you pickpocketing and maybe hitting somebody with a somebody with a blackjack over the head or something in the worst case
Stealing,
scenario.
shooting, all that stuff. Probably they see
Yeah.
images of my wife and my kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do to stop it. So
yeah, so as they pull back, you don't. I mean, you don't. Since you don't resist it, also they don't detect it either. It just happens. You may see some images, but it's something you're thinking about. To you, it's just thoughts, right? They're your own thoughts. That
yes,
you don't connect them with somebody actually sort of going into your mind and grabbing them. And the cognoscenti turns to the paladin and nods. It's like, oh, very well. One final thing. How will you rate the competency of your master Gregory? You seen him to be competent, or is he how can I put this in a very uninsulting way? A lightweight, perhaps.
in terms of what exactly of competence do you mean?
As a magistrate, as a seeker of truth and investigator.
He cares.
But is he effective?
The fact that he cares is already effective. That's more than many nobles, at least in my experience.
Very well. We have taken too much of your time, Master Duncan. Thank you for it, and you can wait outside. You can tell Lord Gregory to step in. We'll have some words.
Alrighty. Thank you. And I just wanted to say, I think next time less incense because it's very hard to see in here too.
We'll take it into the advancements.
Yes. And I go outside.
New church note: be even cheaper and stingier. Got it. Underline twice.
Yeah.
I go
back.
outside. I'm like rubbing my eyes because they're all bloodshot now. I said, "Well, that was something. They're asking for you, sir."
Oh dear, your eyes. You shouldn't be around Spencer like this all the time.
No, this was the incense that was doing this to me.
Well, then you'll doubly won't like what Spencer puts into the air.
Wait, what?
I rib Spencer a little bit.
I don't drink or smoke or anything like that. Never did like the stuff, especially for the past couple of years.
Oh, I see. Well then, you said they want me.
Yeah, and make sure you show that you care.
What? Don't I always?
Exactly. And I smile and I go.
Hey! And I'll go ahead and step in.
Yeah, but this time the scribe is the same room. The scribe is gone, and in the instance is sort of waning away. In fact, you see the man who is wearing the robes, the priest, carrying a pot of incense outside, so sort of waving.
Mm-hmm.
It's like shutting off. Actually, waving it would spread it more, so covering it up. It's a little pot. Yeah, like, oh, I'm gonna shut it off. Hey, everybody! Like sort of puts a little pot over it and walks away. So, and it says, And they actually light more candles, so they even open a window so actually actual light comes in. Because this is going to be more of an open. You mentioned something about being in agreement with us. Would you care to explain?
Indeed so, Miss, dang it, I just looked at the name, Fortier. Well, it's come to my attention that I believe we have some common interest in the pursuit of an investigation.
I would have revealed this earlier, but I had to make sure that you what you did know or did not know.
I understand, and I felt the same need for discretion.
But it appears we are on the same page, correct?
I believe so now. I think both parties are aware of all that we know.
Well, if you can get licensed to operate outside of your general jurisdiction from your superiors, we might be able to arrange something. Now, the reason why we are recruiting you, so to speak, is because in our lands you will be outsiders. We
Indeed.
believe that there are people who have connections to or even agents within our organization, the church, and they are keeping us away from our prey. You will also be able to, if possible, recover something that has been taken and might have the means to interpret it more than we have done in the little time we have to observe them.
I see and understand.
In return, as Brother Vesper has done, we could arrange for donations from the faithful to help the people of the Isles. And it is both our ministry and the duty of all those who follow the light. Significant donations may not solve their problem, but will certainly help succor and alleviate the worst of the problems here, at least for a time being. I'm sure that your king would appreciate shall we say, such things with little or no ties. Although, to be honest, I am sure that somewhere above my pay grade, someone will ask for some favor in the future.
Sure.
I disdain such things. I believe that honest work should get honest pay. And helping the people, as Brother Vesper has reminded me many a time, is also part of what we do. It's sadly not of my specific purview, but it is as a member of the church something that I should always endeavor to do. And you hear the priest sort of utter some words in a language, you actually understand it because you were raised as a noble, and Calambrian is something that it's taught you because it's the language of the educated. And
I should maybe put that down at some point, but yeah, we'll cover it later.
Whether you can speak it well or not, that's something you can yeah. But you kind of follow what he's saying. Basically saying benedictions. It's like, blessed be the light, blessed those who will worship, etc., etc.
I've heard that 1,000 times. So
yeah, exactly. And so we might be able to arrange that. I think we can certainly do that. Again, we cannot promise a line of supply. Also, your man Duncan has revealed that your enemies are also receiving supplies from the outside. I could pass this along to interested parties. I suspect that this is not, perhaps, we have not seen, as far as I am concerned, evidence that this is a collective use or push by one house or one major player. But perhaps, as we suspect, that this is opportunism, right? Sellswords and mercenaries looking for fame and treasure. Houses minor, perhaps looking to make connections or even major power plays outside the purview of the major houses, that sort of thing. A power base outside of Calabria can be very useful to those who can acquire it. So I suspect, in my experience, that essentially the people of your island are suffering in no small part due to the greed and cowardice of those who will seek any opportunity to advance themselves. And that is part of the shadows that we have to fight, as an example of the light.
It is true. It's part of what I've seen as well, with pirates who have engaged in smuggling and other acts, and our own navy attempting to thwart some of them, but not nearly enough. There are many different angles, and if they are so disparate of the houses, the only way to end their opportunism is to get rid of the opportunity. And if the offer you've put on the table is most generous, it's almost impossible to resist. And so, therefore, as you have said, I will put in good work for good pay. I do not intend to leave without accomplishing that which needs to be done. I'll be interested in hearing more about it as we've come to agreement, but I do agree. I think I can make this happen and do what needs to be done.
We can, in fact, while you're investigating this matter, we can also tap our we can perhaps investigate the source of these weapons. I've heard of such weapons makers in the past, and so they're easy to track down by reputation.
Mm-hmm.
We can perhaps, lean on them to give us more information. We didn't know that this connection existed before, but that helps us in our investigation as well. We are both facing a threat to both of our places of birth. You to the Isles and me and ourselves to Calamberga. This cognoscenti has done much damage in the past, and I fear that if this idea of raising the land, using major sorcery, will have devastating results, certainly in the Isles, if there's any truth to it. I suspect it might be just a legend, but at this point, I'm not willing to take that chance.
Right. There's no telling for sure what exactly his ultimate aim is at this point without asking him in particular. But whatever it is, I can imagine it means no goodwill to anyone. That we can almost certainly agree on.
And she stands up and, sends her hand to you.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and reach out and shake it.
So we will wait here until you speak to your superiors, and we will give you the copies of our investigation. The questionnaires that we had to you, so that you will take them to your superiors, so they might see if there's anything that has been compromised.
Of course. I'll go ahead, shuffle the papers together, and go. It'll be a pleasure working with you. I always appreciate people who are good in their work, such as you.
May the light guide you.
And you as well. Well, I got a large bit of paper here. And now I have to ask myself a couple questions, like, so they say that there are people on their inside who might be thwarting their investigations. We've been doing our own for a while, and so far it doesn't seem like there's, like, an internal conspiracy within the circles that haven't rebelled. But I have all this paper and documentation here, and if I quickly leaf over it and think through, like, the Lady Chamberlain herself, how do I feel about her in particular? I feel like she's done nothing but help us.
Well,
and her connections don't seem to be interested in thwarting us either.
No, she basically seems overwhelmed, basically. She's her office most of the time. I mean, it's guards. So she's basically a cop. Like, she's the chief of police, right?
Yeah.
And so the King's Guard, yes, it's a military unit, but most of the time in peacetime they're basically as guards and cops, the equivalent of guards and cops. And that's why you have magistrates, right, to avoid this kind of situation. So, if it were something simple as an outright invasion, then you marshal your forces, raise your armies, your banners, and you go to war. But the fact that this was an internal rebellion, the fact that there might be another one or more conspiracies going on, and
continued criminality and piracy throughout the Isles. Yeah, it's a pile of work.
And the looming aspect of mass prospect of mass starvation, and with it rebellion, like the peasants' revolt, on top of everything else. yeah, you feel like she's overwhelmed, right? That she's doing her best to keep everything down, but yeah, those paper packs get higher and higher every time you visit her. But no, you don't. As far as you know, she doesn't seem to be hiding anything, other than she doesn't share information to you that's below her pay grade, right? It's
Right, of course. So I think I can definitely, absolutely trust her, which is why I will go to her. And also, I guess along the way, I'm probably picking up Harmon, and I will give him a pat on the shoulder and say, well, I think the worst of it is over for the rest of us. I don't think they'll need to interview you. Harmon.
I hope you're not waiting for me. I have no response to that.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'm looking to see, like, does Harmon, like, relieve any tension, or does he change anything, or does he say, like, thank you for, like, avoiding this?
Give us the sign that you're, like, hearing what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand that. I was just letting the silence speak for me.
Okay.
Also, no, Harmon is always tense. It's how you react to a situation.
Yeah.
You have all your muscles constantly flexed, so that when it's time, you react.
But Harmon doesn't show gratitude. Got it. But yeah, so I'll go ahead, I'll grab Harmon, and I'll be heading towards the Lady Chamberlain.
As you come in, again, she papers, and every time you come in now, she basically dismisses anybody.
Mm-hmm.
She knows that any information you're going to bring her, it's going to be. In fact, you're still in charge of that investigation, right?
Right.
But with everything else, that's going on, she's almost forgotten about it. Well, up to now. So close the door behind you and scene.
My lady. Well, I have to say, I had my own doubts for a little bit, and I know, it's so strange to hear me say that. But I think you'll be very happy to see this, and I'll just take, like, this sheaf of paper and just, like, set it very gently down in front of her. There's a lot going on, and I think our new friends have quite a lot to say about it, too.
She basically leaves through it rather quickly. She's a quick reader. Is this accurate? Is this a thing that... Is this the man that's behind all of this?
I can say with absolute confidence, it is. We have our man. A name, a face, an origin, abilities, even maybe a purpose. We have everything in front of us now.
Except that we don't know where to find them.
Yes, still not quite that. Still needs to rear his ugly head around.
Right now, I find myself in a shortage of agents. But you're in charge of this, so I suspect you're going to try to track him down, correct?
I will. But I might have to disappoint you on the agent front. It does come with a bit of a catch.
Do go on. And when you say that she starts reaching for that one bottle that you never drank, like
now's the time.
She takes a mug. She doesn't have glasses. She takes a mug and she pours it in. And
mixes in with the rest of the coffee.
Okay. This sounds serious. Go ahead.
I may need to take a short trip straight to the heart of the enemy, as it were. It turns out there's a little bit of trouble happening back there that this individual's a part of. He's an international criminal. Can you imagine that? And not just a pirate.
I'm glad that he's an international celebrity, considering all the trouble he has given us.
It shames me to think that maybe people might know his name more than mine. But still, it would seem that his troubles did not simply begin here, but in fact began back in Calabria, of which there appears to be some people interfering with the investigation there. Now, as far as I've investigated here, no one has quite thwarted my path or even told me no. I feel confident he has not infiltrated our own ranks, or at least not our office. Thank all the lords. But, they'd require a little bit of our help to perhaps help with the investigation there. I don't know exactly what this will entail, but it will mean that I'll be an outsider acting perhaps even in our own capacity in a foreign land. And I will need quite a lot of paperwork done for that.
And a cover story and whatever else we can muster.
Indeed. The quieter it can be done, I assume, the better.
I have people that are interested in that. I have the person for that, but you don't need to, unless you know the better.
This is true.
I suspect the reason why we haven't seen any infiltration here is perhaps he hasn't had either time or is clever enough not to trip anything. Although this call back to this Lady Veritas.
Yes.
Apparently he was building some kind of structure here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's still at it again, or he's done something else. Again, even with a name, we still don't have a lot of information.
Indeed. But at least if there's another agent who can press the matter and continue looking, at least now we have a little bit of a clearer idea of what we need to see.
Well, should we put a bounty on him and try to flush him out, or you think we should keep on doing this quietly?
I've already had the one that your guy drawn.
That is,
but it hasn't been posted yet. That has to be.
Yeah, we haven't distributed it or intended to yet.
I'm just saying the drawing is done.
Mm-hmm. So we can put it out immediately if we wanted. Gregory's going to cross his arms and think very deeply about this. On one hand, attempting to put his face out there would mean that we'd have more people looking for him, and maybe they might say anything for whatever danger it might be worth. But it would also announce our full intentions, our full knowledge, and maybe give away some element of surprise. It's difficult. We're having so much trouble finding leads, though. It might honestly be worth it. Did you want to come all the way along?
No, I'm just checking, because if not, because I definitely have something I want to say about this, but if I'm not there, I'm not there.
Okay, you can be there if you want to. That depends on...
The only person I intentionally go with is Harmon, and other people tag along if they really want to, because it's big, boring meetings with the Lady Chamberlain.
I would probably consider that a boring meeting, so I probably wouldn't be there anyway. Go on.
That's fine. We've tried our informants and contacts, we just don't know. But this man is wanted. Not just here, but elsewhere. And to let him operate freely would just simply give him too much ground. He's already done too much. I think we do need to put out the word. We do need to put up his face, that he is wanted. He has tricks. He can't avoid it. But maybe not forever.
Well, we'll get into it as much as possible. I put a warrant for his arrest. And also warrants for information and or his arrest.
Perfect.
Actually, the phrase is... And she's sort of confused, like, of course, the phrase is for information that will lead to his arrest. Forgive me. And she takes
it's all
another
right.
swig.
You have the scribe to handle that part.
Yeah, she takes a long swig. It's like, it's... But this is good news. Good news. Now we get this blasted war, that'll be nice. But what exactly are they offering besides helping us with this? Anything else?
Quite a bit. And I'll attempt to enumerate it. I can't remember all of it off the top of my head either. What strikes you as something I need to make a decision about?
Well, basically what they're offering is supplies, right? They're going to mobilize the church in Calabria to get people to get the alms, right? Mm-hmm. Supplies of food and whatnot. Put them in ships, a couple of ships, and send them to the Isles, right? That way they can say that they're not directly offering the aid. It doesn't come from the coffers of the church, right? It comes from the people who are doing their duty because you're supposed to help your fellow sentients, right? Yeah. And you get aid, which means that it gives you room to maneuver, right? And it also signals that not everybody in Calabria is, trying to screw
uniformly after it. Yeah.
So it has diplomatic cover. It actually gets you some aid, and depending how well you do, you might get more aid in the future, right, etc. So it's the beginning of at least a friendship and not an alliance, right?
Right. It's a slight
everybody's it's seen as payment for your job, right? Because of course you're going to do it for that, without seemingly like the church is actually paying you, Quid pro quo.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course. So I'll outline that. It's like it should definitely alleviate some of our woes.
Yeah. No. So yeah, it's like, well, I could actually sell this to the Privy Council. The High King's always weary of outside interference, but he cannot afford to turn down food.
Well, I'll be happy to know we're interfering with the outside. I thought that was a funny joke.
Hello, we're here to assassinate the Archduke.
And so I'll begin the paperwork. You should have some time to yourself before I'm finished. If anything else comes up, please let me know.
So I shall. And best of luck with all the paperwork as usual. So, time to take my leave, and
as you're leaving, you hear that she uncorks again the bottle, and she just pours a second. So, like,
this Gregory's gonna be the death of me. So I have some time, and I'll reconvene with everyone and let them fully appraise of what's up. Like, we will be heading to Calabria. By the way, all of you don't know how to speak it, and I've only heard like all the church words. Vesper, you're actually from there, though, aren't you?
No, I'm actually. I've never
Or you've
actually
been
bought
there
Calabrese.
before.
I never bought Calabrese as a language, and my local knowledge is the Isles, so I don't remember any of it.
From an island somewhere between.
It's okay.
I've been here too long. You've forgotten your home tongue.
Apparently.
You've gone native.
I think we can get some assistance on it, but I think we can work it out.
You know, I do have to say, do you think it is a good idea to actually put that poster of him out there in public?
Well, yes and no. Yes, in that we've been so bereft of information, getting literally anything we can would be to our advantage.
Why not do it secretly and ask the society for a little help?
Well, I think the further I distance myself from that crowd, the better. Not that I entirely oppose occasionally doing a little quid pro quo where able and where it does not necessarily interfere with my own righteous law keeping, but I'm sure you can understand how it might appear to have one of the lead and most visible magistrates suddenly consorting with those types.
Yeah, I guess that would be a scandal in some kind.
So there is such things to consider for myself, but, well, I mean, I don't need to know who you talk with, Duncan. All I need to know is that you get things done.
I nod. I says, well, I assume we're not going to Calabria tomorrow, is that right?
We'll have some time. The paperwork needs to be filled out, and I believe the lady is also arranging different cover pieces for us. She is, if nothing else, very good at taking care of all those details I tend to forget.
So,
now,
you said you can speak it?
Well, I'm sure you understand the course of the nobility and that it has not always been from the Isles and that there's been splits in the past, but there are those of the nobility who speak it anyway as part of the course, and of course it's spoken in the churches as well. It's hard not to hear it, and of course I've picked up plenty of words, but well, we'll have to see how well I speak it.
Sorry, not to interrupt. I remember a time before we mentioned where Calabria was in relation to us.
Mm-hmm.
Were we between Zongao and Calabria, or were we between Acoma and Calabria?
Zongao,
like
I believe.
Coma.
Okay, so we
Zongao,
would be
yeah,
hitting more than likely the Bisclave side of things.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. There's pirates there.
There's pirates everywhere.
Well, I just mean specifically off the Corsair coast or something like that.
Yeah, we would have been off the coast of the Bisclave or the Avoirdupois, so
Okay.
if I remember correctly on the map.
Well, no, the Avatapal would be on the other side.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like,
Yeah.
if it's Lungao, then we're on the Bisclave would be our port of call, which means we're heading into wolf territory.
But we do have some time, and I believe that gives you plenty of time to go and speak back to your family, Duncan, and a little time for the rest of us to drink.
Oh, they'll be happy to see me, like, for 2 weeks in a row.
Absolutely.
Okay,
and
so
here's the letter I got back from my father, and I'll hand it over to you.
Oh, thank you. And I'm assuming it's sealed with wax?
Probably yes.
All right, so I will not open it and read it myself.
Okay.
okay.
And in which case, I think the only thing left is the language question, but that's probably debrief part. So, do you want to do that
Yeah.
part, Lessons?
Yeah. Okay. So before we finish,
Go ahead.
are you gonna try to do both, or are you gonna put it public, or are you gonna give it to Duncan so Duncan, as he goes home, makes some contacts and spreads the word about this individual? How are you gonna approach that?
Good question, Duncan. You want it to be done quietly.
I think that might be better for us, because if this guy knows that we know who he is, it could make him act very rashly.
Right.
And
We
if he
so far
acts
haven't
rashly,
interacted with him directly.
Yeah, do you...
It would
This
also
might...
limit his movements.
What's that?
It would also limit his movements if he knew that anybody could recognize him.
But he's also a mind wizard, right?
Yes.
Do you have, like, a power as a mind wizard to, like, make you unrecognizable?
Yes, but I don't believe you can do that all the time. Quote unquote, I think it's a respite gift.
That would be blind shade, I believe it is. No, that's not it.
I don't think there's one that can actually disguise your appearance. No.
No, there's one that kind of makes you invisible, sort of.
You can make yourself invisible with the clouding of minds thing.
Yeah. I just looked that up right now.
So I guess I will defer to both Spencer and Duncan and your expertise. To which aim would get us the biggest catch here?
I mean, I honestly don't know. I'm just concerned that if he knows that if this Luke fella knows that we know almost all this about him at this point, it may actually cause him to act very rashly, and he's already done damage, as we know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's already arranged for... I'm assuming this, and please correct me if I'm incorrect, but he's already arranged for several thefts, probably is involved with multiple cults and cases regarding the Druids, regarding the church, regarding the invasion coming from the south for the Civil War, and has also murdered an heir to the throne.
Yup.
So we already know what he's capable of. Imagine what he's capable of when he's back in the corner.
But putting his face on it and saying that he is wanted for high treason of killing a beloved king, I'm not sure there's many places he could go.
That's exactly my point, sir.
So do you think that would be in the most effective, Spencer?
Yes. Limit his movements, let him know we're on to him. It could make him act rashly, but I think it would make him act more carefully, because when you know an eye is on you, you do your best work. And he's not going to be as ready to act as normal with, once again, eyes on him.
That's the rub. That's the difficulty. We need the information, but on either hand, we lose something. Or maybe don't get anything at all. It's driving me insane.
Vesper, what do you think?
I signed up to get humanitarian aid to the people. So, if you guys want to hunt down some mad sorcerer with designs on destroying the kingdom, I'm with you, but I'd like to focus once again on let's get food and restoration to the landscape.
Vesper, that's why we're going on the mission.
Well,
Because our goals and your church both align.
I mean,
and both want to help the people. This is what we have to do to get that.
I'm not saying this isn't helping the people, and like I'm not, saying we shouldn't do this. I mean, whatever you decide you want to do, I'm with you on this. I just, you're asking me like, what do I want? It's like, I kind of wanted to get church,
right? But that's like the separate question. That's the broader question. The particular question here was, should we put the wizard's face on a poster and put it out there when he's a powerful mind mage?
I'm abstaining from this.
Yeah, there you go. So Vesper abstains. What information do we choose to lose? Do we choose to lose the idea of where exactly he is, or what exactly he's doing?
I'll let you make the choice. It's your choice in the end.
No, this is why I have experts to help me, because I'm an idiot.
This would be Schrodinger's catch.
I mean, don't you know how RPGs work? The experts tell you what they think based off their alignment, and then you make a choice that can affect the rest of the story. And then if it's about
this is the telltale moment.
Code later at the end.
Harmon will remember this, just continually appearing on screen, and it just never leaves. I think we need to know exactly what he's doing. I think perhaps if you were willing to go through your contacts and get this information, maybe we can operate off of that and find where he is on our own.
Are you referring to me or Spencer?
You, Duncan.
Okay. All right. Well, then I will do that. I will go to the contacts I know which streetwise. Do you want me to roll it now? We'll do it next time.
Next time.
We'll just the angle we're going for.
Yeah.
And in which case, we have the image for later for when we botch everything.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so that's the angle we're going to go with that.
So let's do the intersection thing. Let's start with you didn't accomplish any goals per se, because you're still working on defeating the grant. You got closer to it, so you're progressing in that area.
We discovered who is behind the conspiracy. We know exactly who he is now. And now we have a new goal of stopping Luke.
Okay. So yes, you did accomplish that goal.
All right.
Your new goal is, of course, to stop him. Your second goal, of course, is to go to Calabria and investigate who is cooperating with him. And perhaps, no, actually, it's to retrieve the tablets, because the tablets temporarily fell in the hands of the Church of Samir, but they got stolen, which led the people in the Church of Samir believe that they're somebody's working against them from within. So if you can,
get Price's artifact from Calabria and escape. Got it.
And apparently the tablets, like I said earlier, describe what happened, so that should help you also narrow down and stop what's going on here.
Yeah. Any idea what the gift reward is going to be?
Well, it has to be language.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you won't be able to do anything.
Cool.
Like, you're
that
gonna
is
go
pretty much how the rules work. Yeah.
Cool. Selling that back. I don't talk to anybody anyway.
Let's go to a foreign land where GM told you that you can't speak the language, but I'm gonna give you another gift that doesn't do anything.
There you go. We worked that out perfectly.
Yeah, no, seriously though, I am selling it back.
Yeah,
of course.
I'm not talking to these people anyhow. You just point me at which one you want dead, and I'll kill them. These are.
You'd sell back your combat save if they let you.
I did. What are you talking about?
I know. I hate so much.
Well.
Time to be a better Marine.
So now we're gonna go. We're not going in the order in the page, because why the hell? Why would you do that? So let's go to the briefing before we play our finish with mottos.
Okay.
And the like. So the briefing time. I'll start because I wanted to do something a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, when that letter went out, I was like, what do I do with that? Do we just sort of hand out free food and that's it. Or an army shows up and it's like,
I
oh,
would
now
have
we have
been
a
in
invading
favor
army.
of the free food. I wouldn't be complaining
Yeah,
about that.
Yeah, me too.
Deliver
but I-
all to Vesper.
Yeah, I mean, that was the intention, I know, but it's like, wait a minute, they got this letter from this random, even as a brother, just recently ordained brother. It's like, well, this is intriguing, but what exactly is going on here? You know, you just can take it at face value. So that's why they send the Inquisition.
Yeah.
Also, I know Harmon, something we discussed off screen, that actually this was designed to help with that, but Harmon decided to go, you know what? No, I'm not gonna.
Well,
I'm
see,
not
the
gonna
thing,
take
I thought
myself.
you were going to force my hand, and that this would be a thing where I would have to, like, defend I wouldn't, and, I don't know, they'd pull it out of me, and it'd be, like, that sort of shameful moment for my character. But the fact that we worked entirely around not doing it, and it's like, oh, whatever.
Yeah,
because I was
specifically went
like,
out of
okay,
my
like,
way.
I wanted to avoid the showdown between the lady Paladin with her two-handed sword, thinking that she's gonna survive this fight.
Yeah, no, I
Harmon.
that's what I thought was going to happen. I was going to
Yeah.
get forced into a room with this thing, and I was going to flip out and get into a fight with another horse in armor
Yeah,
and
throw hands.
weapon.
Yeah. So no, that was not gonna.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Harmon just literally fighting his clone.
Oh no,
full of twins.
she'd be my
No, she's
lesser
not.
clone is the problem.
Yeah.
No, she-
I thought either that or he's made her a supernaut, and I'm just going to get murdered for this.
But yeah, I tried to go out of my way to just make sure that like both you and Duncan could like avoid this. Duncan couldn't avoid it in the end, but nothing happened, so that's good.
I mean, Duncan just objects to it in general, and because of his shady past, he doesn't want things to be found out necessarily. So
yeah,
but you
to
know
be
what?
honest, yeah,
they don't
they're
seem
not-
to care. So who cares?
That's
Mhm.
not their fault. To them, you're just a petty criminal. That's what.
Yeah.
If they might look down on it, like the local magistrate. Well, they also found out that you got recruited by sort of force, right? You were in a given choice. It's like, okay, that's how they do things here. We don't like it,
Yeah.
but what are we gonna do about it? It's not what we're looking for. So
Yeah. You ever played Red Dead Redemption?
I started to, but I
You literally
didn't.
asked that at the end of last session, too.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, 'cause
I'm
remember we
basically
made the
John
joke about his wife dying.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm literally John Marston in this case, so my wife better not die at the end.
And on
Spoiler
the subject on the subject of, okay, here's the thing, because I'm gonna come up and be, because it was already out there, so might as well talk about it. When I designed the secondary plot with the mystic part, I was like, wait a minute, this is not moving forward. I have to do something to move it forward. So the other aspect of bringing, the Inquisition was to say, listen, this is
Yeah, give
bigger
us
than
the
just
next
the
step
island.
that lets us continue
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
investigation. Good idea.
Because sometimes you do have to just go, okay, here it is. Let's move this forward.
I mean,
You're already
I
up
think
preoccupied.
I think
Go ahead.
Harmon would have been vehemently against these people if he knew what was going on. That's why I played off at the very beginning. Hey, what's an Inquisition? Because
Yeah.
not knowing what an Inquisition is the only way Harmon's not getting riled up at this.
Yeah. I did love the tension where the fraternal twin is here. Where it's just like, oh my gosh, are they actually in disguise? Is this like the moment where we all get dragged away one by one?
I mean, it can still happen, but
Now it can still happen. Going to Calabria, we've already been separated from all of our support networks, and now we're incredibly vulnerable. Get captured, and hey, now we're down the best magistrate magician that the Isles had. Whoops.
so and I also like the idea that you guys are moving forward. That accommodating yourself into a higher position. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
This could work out for that. Although, okay, let me repeat that the islands that you were before was not the southern island. I have to make the map. I know. I'm lousy at making maps. That's why I haven't really made a map.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of made a map.
I also have a map making tool if you want. I can make a quick sketch of it.
Yeah, basically it's 4 islands: north, south, east, west. So that the eastern island is the one that is in rebellion right now.
Yeah, but those people
Oh,
are
yeah.
big
Oh,
heads.
That's the one I was talking about.
Yeah, so it's like I know people get confused because we don't have a visual reference. So that's
come on, that joke was gold.
uh,
as usual, I'm having fun because the world feels like things we do matter, and it has politics going in it. That if we push something, it wobbles back on us. And so, I think having this being part of the investigation and having this start a big political thing, it makes me makes me feel like I'm part of an experience. I'm not just reacting to everything that's going on.
Yeah, Vesper's actions have come back to him with varying amounts of positives and negatives. And of course, our decision to whether or not to expose that we know that we're hunting after this grand conspirator is also a heavy kind of question too.
Hey,
and also one of the...
any moment I decide not to kill somebody.
It's a good one. It's beautiful.
Harmon will remember this flashing up on the screen.
My
forever.
decisions are always immediate. I have no long-term ramifications to any of my decisions.
And also the whole thing with the Rangers, I was like, I could have done said, no, you go and don't do anything. But I felt, first of all, only unfair, right? You were going to do something. And second, it was like, kind of a slice of life thing with the Ranger just being jerks. Because people think of Rangers either they think of hippies who's protecting the woods. Modern day, sort of eco fighters, eco warriors, or they think of Rangers park ranger or something. Right?
Yeah,
the Rangers over there actually were.
I think of the Texas Ranger from True Grit. That's who I think of when you say Ranger.
Yeah.
Just don't get roundhouse kicked by him.
I said from True Grit, not from
not Walker.
Walker Texas Ranger, yeah. But the actual Rangers and or wardens were. They were a-holes because they served nobility, and nobility was keeping these lands not because they cared about the beauty so much because they went, I want to hunt deer, and
I always enjoy the little slice of life things because it allows me to interact with it. So
yeah, it was cute. I liked it.
The fact that I could give the Rangers a screw you by giving back money to a peasant or basically reporting on them because what they're doing is kind of shady overall.
Yeah, basically they're gonna get dragged in, embarrassed, get a talk to, right? They're gonna go over the finances. They're not gonna put them in jail because
they're
gonna go after me.
I didn't become a soldier to get paid.
That's admirable.
More admirable than me.
Oh, sorry, I was talking about in a Russian sense. I didn't become a soldier to get paid because that's not happening.
Yeah. So that's about it. And then I think the mottos. So we experienced role play. I think everybody did their mottos admirably. Duncan certainly kind of helping the people out. Vesper certainly emphasizing that the role of the church is to give alms and succor to people, right? Gregory always, finding the angle because he has to be the king.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer actually helping everybody to keep the secrets that they are not known to keep until he got cornered by 3-1. It was like, oh shit, I'm not okay. This is goddamn dangerous. And Harmon, of course, because every day is you have to expect to be in a fight for your life because that's life itself. So
that's a good segue into mottos.
Yeah. That was the mottos. That's what you just did. That wasn't a segue. That was it. Would you argue that this is a chapter?
Not yet.
I mean, we're leaving our home isles. We're going off into a new adventure in a new foreign land.
I'm gonna have to think about that one.
Okay.
Seems like it would be a new season of a TV show.
Yeah. Well, hopefully not, because you get to come back hopefully someday.
But I mean that would be the around the world in 80 days sort of scenario. Okay, we just got done with India. We crossed the Atlantic and we're back home again. I know that's not the layout of the globe, but
we were 24 the Isles. Now we're 25.
So I'm gonna give it thinking about that. So yeah, that's it for the show with a couple of minutes to spare. So
yeah,
time for shoutouts.
Hey everybody, thanks for coming to watch the stream. We do streaming every Sunday and Wednesday, all day, every day. Well, Sundays and Wednesdays, where we will be playing Hackmaster, Ironclaw, and board games currently on Sunday, as well as Myriad Song and Swayhander on Wednesdays. Yes, I had to take a moment to remember that because I am improvising this as I go. Thank you. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and watch our YouTube, and come watch us live over on Ractus.
And I'm your GM, Lessons Learned, and I will be on Mondays, streaming on Mondays, and on Tuesday have the podcast. Hopefully, I will return to my regular schedule probably by the end of the month because I'm fingers crossed when I have a new PC built. So yes, the new black piece is coming.
Yeah.
And also, if you visit Amazon on Kindle, my new book, my current book, Night and Stars is out. A speculative fiction collection. So if you want to check it out, go ahead. Next.
My name is Arcloyd, and I run a play-by-post game on Roleplay Online that seeks to go through the Ironclaw Book of Adventures.
My name's Rob. I'm a current writer at the game website techraptor.net. I've actually just got a new assignment with TechRaptor where I am now one of their culture writers. So doing a lot of different pieces now specifically about in culture, tech, and things like that. I've done previous work with Sanguine Games where I helped co-write the Myriad Song Alien supplement. And yeah, check it out. That's all I got.
And now we just stare at Rafferty.
Well, I want to thank everybody for helping us. We just did Gen Con Online, and of course, we also did the Book of Corals, which is the next Ironclaw book that's going to have a Pacific Islander theme. And that's all in production, so we've got a lot of stuff. You can check us out on sanguinegames.com, as well as we're on here streaming stuff as well. So stuff is coming, but right now we're working on a lot of it. So I'll have more hype as it comes.
I think that's it.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thanks again for coming,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank
Catch
you.
you next time.